Wow, so we have had the craziest couple of weeks in the stock market. It's been as volatile as Bitcoin, Ethereum, any sort of just crazy swinging stock that we've seen. You know, we watched Tesla grow from like $400 to like $900 in 1 week, and it just blew everybody's mind. And we are just in such a weird time. So I'm gonna go through and show you guys how I lost $2,500 in a couple weeks of the stock market, which, being 19 turning 20, is a lot of money for somebody my age, and I can see where it could steer other investors long-term off, or even people my age. I think a lot of people would say, oh, I'm not doing this ever again because I'm negative $2,500 in the last month. So I'm gonna shoot you guys right into my portfolio and let's hop into it. So as of right now, my portfolio is $8,417.56. The market hasn't opened yet. This is pre-market and it keeps falling. So if we jump into my 1 week, you can see that about a week ago, if I would have sold all my stocks, I would have about $9,900. And then we go to the 1 year. This is my favorite one. If you go up to February, the 19th, okay. I was up $1,000, and which was 10% at the time. And all of last year I was up about 12%, but I made some deposits in January. So it upped my like Robinhood starting amount. And I was up about 10% here, but it was really 12% at the time. And all of a sudden, my $10,000, almost $900, I was so pumped. I was like, I'm gonna hit $11,000 invested. I mean, that just blows my mind. I was like, I'm not even 20 yet. What am I gonna do? And here we are today at $8,400. So yeah, I went from almost $11,000 to boom, almost $8,000 now. So let's dive into my stocks right now. So I bought Super League Gaming at $8.50 when they IPO'd. I always wanted to buy a stock at IPO. My buddy asked if I could cover his shift that day. So I was like, okay, I'll cover your shift and I'll put some of the money from the shift into the market. And I was like, oh, I always wanted to buy a company at IPO. Awesome, so cool, because it's a gaming company, you know, like esports. I am down 65%, but I only put 50 bucks in. So, you know, it's just 50 bucks, not the biggest deal in the world. If I lose it all, I lose it all. I'm not gonna be upset. And if it comes back, I'd be excited. And if there's anything in the news, I'd love to bring my average cost down. But I really wasn't taking this pick super seriously when I made it. I always wanted to buy a company at IPO. I bought this about last February, my first stock market buy, I'm pretty sure, that I've ever made. I was like, hey, I want to start fresh. Let's buy a company at IPO. Let's see what happens. You know, because if you bought Starbucks at IPO, that would just be ridiculous right now. You would have just a ridiculous amount of money. That's SLGG. Here's my Facebook share. So I bought Facebook at 180 back in the day, and I bought one share. I always just wanted to own it. They're just such a big company. They were talking about cryptocurrency and adding some of that. So if you jump to about the 1 year, I was pumped because they were like, oh yeah, we're 220. It was the end of January. I was pumped. My portfolio was flying through the roof. And I was like, wow, 220, should have bought more Facebook. Well, today they're 169. I could buy more today and have a lower average cost than I did just getting one share. It's just one share. I always wanted to own them. I do what I can with the money I have freed up. So they still have a really high buy rating, and I'm really pumped for Facebook in the long run. I think it's gonna be huge. I think they're gonna just continue to grow. But then again, you know, there's a lot of social medias now. I still think they're a really good long-term buy. Let's jump into Apple. I bought at 188, just 4 shares, and I'm up 300 bucks. But just the other week, I think this was almost $1,300 in Apple. I'd have to check. I could be wrong. Yeah, it had about $1,200, maybe 13. And yeah, it's all fallen since then. Apple sells fewer than 500,000 smartphones in China in February because of the virus. So, you know, everything's kind of taken a really big hit right now. Still has a great buy rating. I love them. They pay a dividend, which is incredible. So every 3 months, just for holding them, Apple will pay me $3.08 for my 4 shares. And it's a little just extra fun on the cake as Apple, you know, keeps growing. It's just gonna be ridiculous. I think they're gonna just do incredible. Ford, I got Ford at $5.95, not $5.95, sorry. I bought them at $9 over time. I bought 110 shares. I'm down 330 because Ford is not really that great of a pick. I picked them because I know that you've seen them declining right here for the last 5 years. I picked them because they pay 15 cents per share in dividends. So every 3 months, as of now, Ford will pay me $16.50, but since the last ex-dividend date, because I only had 100 shares, they paid me $15. So no matter how long I hold them, I don't ever think Ford's gonna go bankrupt in my lifetime. And if it does, it will be, I think, when I'm in my 50s. I think they're doing cool stuff with the Mustang, and they're coming out with the Bronco, and the Raptor's been doing good as far as I've heard. And I know they're working on electric F-150, so they're just doing their thing, and there's a lot of people that are loyal to Ford stock. I think they're a pretty solid company as far as being a car company. They're a cash cow. They just sit on their money and they have tons of it. So take advantage of making money off Ford because they're sitting on $27 billion. SunPower. Now this is a company that I sat and day traded for the longest time, and I know day trading isn't incredible. It's not a great thing to do, but I sat and I would day trade SunPower, and I made a pretty hefty amount off of them. And by hefty for being 19 is basically words for, hey, I made $30 in a couple of days, and I got all that taken back, so I'm about down 80 bucks, but I like supporting my clean energy companies. It's just so much fun to watch these guys kind of shift. You know, it would have been cool to buy Solar Edge back when it was $5, because now it's like $100 and some dollars. Then I bought Avi. I bought Avi around 74 bucks, and it pays a really nice dividend of $1.18 per share, but only one share. I'm not gonna get rich off my dividends, but I just wanted to hold them. They're a really good company to hold just because of their strong dividend yield. Like the 5.31% dividend yield is just awesome, and I watched them grow quite a bit. They always hit their earnings, they up their dividend, and I just think they have a pretty solid future ahead of them. So good buy for me, I think. Let's jump into Energy Transfer. I got 40 shares. My average cost is almost $12. They were doing really well before the market came down, and even though they're like 5 years, it's been pretty, you know, negative, if you want to say, just because it has just been going down compared to what they were even, you know, 2015. I mean, 35 bucks a share down to 7. But their dividend's so nice. It's 12%. They have a 90% buy rating, and they were doing really good in October 2018. So that's what's kind of shifted people to it, and they transfer a lot of natural gas, which is really nice, and just kind of see what they do. And I only have 40 shares, and I'm not too worried about, you know, losing just over $400 in total. I don't think it's gonna go to zero. I think they're gonna swing back up when the economy rebounds. We're just in a weird time. I think we're officially in a bear market now. Kind of crazy. So let's jump down. AT&T, I bought them at the most expensive day you could buy them. I'll buy them today and it's just gonna explode. That hasn't really been the case. I think I bought them January 8th or maybe the 7th. Something around there. January 3rd. So yeah, I bought them on like one of their most expensive days. They pay a nice dividend. They're my long-term bull because I believe in 5G. I think that's gonna be huge. It's gonna be ridiculous. So even though I'm down right now 10%, I think it's all gonna bounce back. I wanna pick up more AT&T shares when I can. So I love this company. I think AT&T does great. And look at their market cap. I mean, they're a $260 billion company. How are you gonna beat that? I mean, that's just crazy to me. And their dividend's nice, a low PE ratio, so everything looks pretty solid. Take us to VOOG. Wow, so it's down almost 7% in the pre-market, which is just insane. It's just getting tanked on right now. So VOOG is where, this is an index fund. So index funds are the whole market. It's hard to beat the market, especially normal people like you and I who aren't Warren Buffett, who don't know everything about every company. We don't sit and study it every day. He is absolutely the master of investing. I bought at an average cost of $181, and the market, you know, so that would be around, because I remember buying everything around January 28. I bought a lot, and then boom, it jumped up. I was like, oh my gosh, the market. I mean, I was like, we're about to hit 190 in VOOG. It's gonna pull back. So we've had this huge bear market pullback. I'm down 400 bucks. Not too mad. This is my most long-term holding. This is something that's gonna be like generational wealth. This is a growth index fund, and 163 I bought at 174 because it's been pulling down, but VOOG tracks an index of the US large cap growth stocks. So we just got all the large cap stocks, and those guys grow like crazy, and it's the S&P 500. You can't beat it. So this comes to VOO. VOO is one where I bought at 305. It's down to 253, which is just huge pullback. But I bought them, I think, at 305 around this. I bought it on the same day I bought VOOG around here. VOO is cool because that tracks the S&P 500. of just the whole economy. It's the small cap stocks, the large cap stocks, just everything into one. And this is the best way, I think, to build generational wealth or any sort of long-term wealth. Even though it says only 30% in the last 5 years, before this pullback, it was about 60%. So, which is about 12% a year, which means your money would double. 12% return, it's gotta be like 8 to 8.5. Oh, my baby Tesla. So Tesla is my absolute favorite company. You guys probably already know that. I reviewed the Model 3. I would love to own their car one day, you know, and I have all these goals, you know, like I wanna own $100,000 worth of assets before I decide to buy the Model 3, or I wanna wait for the price to come down. So Tesla's my baby, and I don't really know what to say because they had such a big rally. I mean, a year ago, you could have bought Tesla at 189 bucks. I was looking at it. I was literally in California, and I was like, Tesla's so low. I wish I had more money freed up. I spent money on my trip. You know, I didn't really have great money coming in at the time. I just started my company, so I was like, I want to put all my money into my company. I want to just do a quick trip. I wanted to travel, see California. I had an absolute blast, and I love my company. If I would have grabbed Tesla then, oh my gosh, I don't even know what I would do, because I would just be, even I grabbed one share at 188 and it's 605 today, but man, they hit 920, but they really hit 960. I was there, I was watching the stock, and I was like, we're about to hit $1,000. Someone could have made $800 in less than a year per share that they owned. So I'm a big long-term bull. My Tesla average cost is $785. Here's why though. I've been day trading them a little bit. What that means essentially is I've been sitting with their stock, and when my stock hit like 820, I would sell, because I bought it like, well, I bought some at 540, and then I bought some in the 800s range. I got a little caught up in myself, but also wanted to own their shares. And at the time, you know, you don't see anything bad happening economically, and now the sun's really hitting me in the face. I was up like 500 bucks on them when they hit the 900s range. And I started day trading them to cut my costs down to where like, oh, okay, so if my average cost was 770, like last week I sold at 820, bought them again at 790, so then my average cost jumped up. But then I had the extra 30 bucks to free up and play around with, and I'm young, so I can do really risky stuff and not have to worry about it affecting my long-term finances. Okay, so Tesla is my baby. I'm down to 500 bucks, but I absolutely love them. I think they're gonna be worth $2 grand a share in the future, even $3 grand, honestly. If they hit $1 trillion, I mean, they're a $137 billion company with such a minimal amount of cars sold. I think it's just gonna be huge. They're working with solar, they're working with batteries, they're doing solar roofs. Like, they're more than just a car company. You're just investing in Elon Musk at this point, and that's where I want my money to go. I just love that guy. And look, it's already up today, well, besides opening really under the open mark. If you don't have the guts or the heart to sit and watch it, I'm just gonna say, hey, in 5 years, it's gonna be great. There's a lot of money to be made, but even just for the future of the company and what Tesla's doing, I'm so pumped by them. But you guys already know how pumped I am by Tesla. That's all I gotta say. I love Tesla. I know you could say, Logan, you should have bought 3 months ago. Well, I didn't have the funds 3 months ago to buy as much Tesla stock as I wanted. I wanted to learn more about it. There's so many factors that go into why I didn't make the decisions that, looking back, yeah, I wish I made, but hey, it's fine. I'm fine with that. Stoicism, baby. Whatever happens, happens, and I'm happy either way. Let's jump into VGT. Down 40 bucks, 15%, bottom at 259. It's doubled your money in 5 years. And this is all the tech companies, so it can be a little risky because you're betting on the tech giants, Amazon, Google, Apple, for at least 5 more years. We're living in the technology era. I know I grabbed one share, but I plan on grabbing more shares in the future. And I'm just really pumped on what this has been doing. Of course, not in the last month, but if you look at like literally, if you look at 2018, that's $50 gone. That's what I'm dealing with. And look at what it did. It just rallied and went big. Why are you worried? I'm not worried. I'm sort of worried. These are my free stocks from, shout out my boy Tim Lyons, and someone else got me this free stock. But I'll shout everybody out with the free stocks in a little bit. Disney, my average cost is $115. I bought them last week. I bought them on Friday, and that's how low of an opening it's been. I mean, wow, we're just getting tanked. I think I might grab more shares. I only have 2. They pay a really nice dividend twice a year, and I am just kind of pumped. I think they're gonna be huge. Disney is, my target price for them is like 180, but I'm thinking more realistically like 200. I think you could double your money with Disney. I don't really have a set date for when you will, but if you look at even the last 5 years. I mean, you could have bought Disney at $92, 3 years, it was worth $151 in November. Disney Plus came out, everyone was pumped. Disney Plus is about to get introduced in Europe, and the parks are still open, and they're gonna open one in China, I'm pretty sure. So that's kind of what we have going on. I think Disney's gonna be huge. That's my whole portfolio. Thank you guys for checking out my stock portfolio. Yeah, so I'm down tracked. I mean, if you look at my all-time, like I said earlier, I'm down a lot of money. And being 19, turning 20 in a couple of weeks, that's a lot of money for a young kid. And especially with like, I could continue to go to school, or even just having these funds freed up and putting money back into the company. There's just a lot of stuff that plays out all at once, and it's kind of hard to kind of grab life all at once and be like, this is the best move to make. Because you don't know the future. I don't know the future. I think American business is gonna be good, but that's just me, and I'm pumped. So thank you guys for watching. Pray for my portfolio. Thank you guys for all the free stocks too, for signing up with Robinhood. If you sign up with Robinhood, we both get a free stock, and which would help me out greatly. And if you look at all the past homies that signed up, I mean, all the homies right here. And yeah, I'm just pumped on all the past rewards. But you guys can also grow a huge portfolio. Never have to worry about working when you're in your 60s and 70s. You can just hang out with the grandkids. You know, there's a lot of long-term wealth to be built. But even if you want to be a day trader, I wouldn't advise it. Do whatever you want. I'm pretty pumped though. The stock market is probably one of the best ways to grow your money. There's a lot of great companies to pick, and you just don't want to miss out on the gains. So if you want to build a really nice sizable portfolio like I have, shoot me a message, comment below, do whatever you want. I'd love to give you guys free stocks. Check the link in the description for your free stock link for Robinhood, and let's grow our wealth together. So I will see you guys soon. Thanks for watching this video. See you next time.